This is exactly how I prepare myself for peak week for one of my clients. You've probably heard a lot of athletes and coaches talk about specific peak week protocols, but I want to talk about how exactly I get ready for peak week as a coach. So for me, a successful peak week gets broken down into 3 stages. You've got data accumulation, planning, and then reactive analysis. So in terms of data accumulation, I'm actually planning for peak week weeks and months in advance of the actual peak week. I'm making notes about things like how his body responds to high days, how much food do we need to eat to make sure that he's really full, at what point do we achieve a really good look, how many days does it take him to clear fluid after a high day. I'm also looking at things like when he looks at his best throughout the day, how many meals he's eaten at that point, how much fluid and sodium he's had by that point. And in collecting all of this data, by the time that we come to peak week, we should have plenty of prior information and know exactly what look we want to achieve and exactly what we need to do in order to achieve it. So there's no unpredictable variables. As a coach, I want to make sure that I'm achieving consistent results, and the only way that I can achieve those consistent results is making sure that I'm tracking all of this data so that there's no unpredictable variables when it comes to peak week. And then that leads us to the planning phase, and that phase is all about using all of the notes that I've accumulated over the past couple of weeks and months and using that to form a proper plan and a peak week strategy that we're going to take. Now, that doesn't mean I have a completely pre-written plan and strategy for peak week that doesn't change. This is just a structured outline of what I think we need to do in order to achieve the best look. Now, this leads us into probably the most important part of peak week, and that is being able to visually assess the look day by day and make changes to your plan based on how your body is responding. Yes, we've accumulated data, so the results should be pretty predictable. And yes, we've got a structured outline of a plan that we're going to follow, but that doesn't mean that we don't change the plan according to how the person is looking. You might have what seems like a completely foolproof plan for peak week, but that plan is made based on the individual responding as you expect them to respond. And if they don't, then you need to be able to adjust it accordingly so that you can still achieve a great look on the day. So throughout peak week, I'm getting daily photos, probably photos even by the meal, so that I can make any adjustments if things aren't going completely according to plan. That way we can ensure that the client always looks their best come show day, and that is exactly what we're here to do. And guys, if you want to be coached by me for a bodybuilding competition or just an elite physique transformation, drop me a message or click the link in my bio.